Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. And I'm giving you a fair warning. This lesson's going to be a little raw. So if you tender spirited, just move on. But there's going to be a sharp rebuke to you, Jakes. And what inspired me to do this lesson was the beloved brother from Kansas City, Halaya, if I'm saying his name correctly, that he was going into the stupidity, the dumb-minded, simple-minded Forrest Gump thinking. Forrest Gump got a lot of intelligence more than these Jakes. You know what I'm saying? Jake is dumbfounded, stupid. They can't stop saying the name God. They can't stop saying the name Jesus. I hate that both of them names because them names, if if you kind of somewhat studious, you'll understand that the Bible was written in Hebrew. Them names don't go back to any Hebrew origin. So anybody with half a working brain can understand that that couldn't be his name. This God thing is a stronghold, and this Jiva's name is a stronghold. But again, a lot of this blame is laid to the Christian pastor of the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying the Christian pastor in the organized modern day religion of Christianity has been a fucking failure. That's why you ask our people simple, basic, trivial questions about the Bible. Like, let me give you an example. How many sons did Jacob have? They'll look at you like you got 8 heads. And we learned that in the first 3 months when we wake up, right? They won't be able to, they give you that 1,000 yard stare. And that's simple as it get. But they can tell you God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. They can quote, they can do those particular quotes because they've learned these quotes as they was growing up. And these quotes ain't even in the Bible. You'll tell them that, and they'll swear, that you lying to them. But let's get into this lesson. We know Jake, our people, the so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, and the Israelites that are scattered among the heathens, and some of them are gonna look like heathens. How is that so hard for you to comprehend? So this is who's coming back. This a so-called angry black man, as y'all people like to say anyway, that we angry, we mad. This does not oppression make a wise man mad? But you people be talking, you don't know nothing. I'm just saying the people that's outside of the truth, you brothers and you sisters, you know what time it is. But this who's coming back. And you can show our people this image. They mind so bugged out and so confused and so warped. We'll tell them this is the accurate description of the Messiah in the Bible, Revelation chapter 1, 13 through 14, 15, right? Verses. And then you go to Daniel 10 and 6, work your way on down, and actually Revelation chapter 2, work your way down. It gives you a description of him being a so-called black man with white woolly hair. But this is how gullible and dumb the Israelites are, the so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans. And they've been so indoctrinated and brainwashed ever since they was a kid. They can't snap out of this, man. That's why this doctrine is only for the elect. This is a real demon right here, man. You know how heavy this demon is, and the ninja woman loved the name Jivas. That's what they say when they get in any kind of distress, they end up having a bad day. They'll say it, right? They'll say, gee, right? They'll say it. We hear it all the time. We hear all the folly of this Babylonian system, and we have to stomach this. Look at all this confusion, all this demonic behavior, you know what I'm saying, and all this demonic energy with the Christmas. You can't even go nowhere without hearing that fucking music. We vex, man. But anyway, let me stay on point and get into this lesson. This is a demon right here, man. But the Israelites are in a stupor. They dumb. Let me go here. And that's why the Most High referenced the Israelites as being sheep, because a sheep is a very docile animal that's totally dependent on the shepherd. They can't lead themselves. They'll wander into their own death, if that makes sense. If you study them. That's why they have to be in a flock and they have to have a shepherd to protect them. And you people don't, the people that's outside the truth don't want Yahweh Shah. They want so-called white man Jesus. Proverbs 20, Salakia, Jeremiah 23 and 1. It says, woe be unto you pastors. And we got a real hatred for you Christian pastors because you ain't taught our people shit. That's why you can ask them basic, trivial questions that they should know. And they've been going to church 30, 40 years. They don't know shit. They just know the Christian punchlines. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Won't he do it? All these other different, It's like 1,000 of them. That's complete folly and don't mean nothing is vain. It says, woe be unto you pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. That's why Israel is known as sheep, because they're sheeple. They have to be led because they'll wander into all kind of confusion. As you see them in all, they all into confusion. And most people, they still see Salakia. This is what they see in their mind, perpetual. This is a perpetual demon, right, that they see in their mind, and they can't shake it. No matter how hard they try to, they can't shake out of this stronghold because it wasn't meant for them to shake out of it. It's only for the elect to see. That's why sometimes we're redundant. 1 second. Okay, let's go to the next verse. Jeremiah 23:2. Therefore does say Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the God of Israel. So you people been tricked, and with this Christianity, they told you that God is the God of everybody. No, it's being specific here. Reading and comprehension is a skill set. And you got to shake out of that brainwashing. The God of Israel, or the power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. You ain't feeding them garbage. You have scattered my flock and driven them away and have not visited them. So basically what this means is Jake is in a vulnerable, destitute, destroyed, dumbed down state right now. They the lowest they can go right now. You ask them like basic questions, and these supposed to be hardcore Christians. They actually have the J name plastered all over their car. They have the cross, hanging from their mirror in the car. They have a cross, wearing a cross around their neck. They love their jewelry with the cross, but they don't know shit. They don't know nothing about the God that they say they supposed to believe in. Nothing. Completely ignorant. And driven them away and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon the evil of your doings. You have to pay for this shit, man. Said Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Let's go here. Proverbs 1:22. It says, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? So to be simple-minded is to be borderline retardation. Stupid, dumb. Can't comprehend, can't get right. Elevator ain't going all the way up. This is the MO of our people. Very simple-minded people. They are gullible. That's why, Jake, especially the older people, they will follow anything, right, that's sound good, that's presented in a smooth words, they'll follow it. But the truth, they have no pleasure in it because it's too harsh for them. Right? They love that. They want to get lied to. And the scorners delight in their scorners. You scoffers. You know what I'm saying? I always got something to say, but don't know shit. And Jake could get into all these different philosophies about folly. They'll go to the Kemet. The Kemet is a real demon. That's a whole nother demon. They got young Pharaoh bugged out. You know what I'm saying? And all the other Kemet ninjas. You got the ninjas in Islam. A lot of them can't even tell you how Islam got started. You don't even know what the word Allah means, but they'll be committed to some folly. And you just go down that shit show of a list. It says, and fools hate knowledge. So a fool won't consider what we're saying. They won't even look into it. And we know we got the truth. We don't need nobody to validate us. We be showing you, I do lessons to show you that we got the truth. But a fool hate knowledge. So ain't nothing you can do with a fool. A fool is already meant for destruction anyway. They done. They finished. Finito. Let's go here. And the Christian church has did a psychological psyop on our women mind, boy. The women are all effed up, man. They don't know. I mean, you talking about the whole way of life that they've been taught. Everything is against the Bible. But they'll say they believe in the Bible. They'll have that zealotness. They'll be zealous for the Lord, but it's all out of ignorance because they don't fucking study. Proverbs 1:22 is a call to action from Lady Wisdom to the simple ones, scorners, and fools who have rejected her teachings. It means, how long will you persist in foolishness and ignore wisdom? It says this verse, Salakia, criticizes those who love a life of ignorance. That's, if you could sum a catchphrase of our people, they live a life of ignorance. Life of ignorance. Man, it's from one folly to the next folly. The way they eat, right? You'll see the ninja woman vlogging, right? Her eating all this crab and lobster, highly seasoned. All this is an abomination, killing herself. But she'll say, push the the enchantment to the other women that watch that folly, and they have normalized this 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 insanity. That's the best way I can explain it. They don't know what to eat. They don't know how to eat. They don't know the food that's destroying their body. They don't know, nothing. It's just nothing but confusion. It says, take pleasure in mocking the truth. It says, and hate knowledge, wanting to their path is self-destructive and will lead to a dangerous future. We're telling you what's going to happen before it happened. Let's go here. It says, that's why Yahweh and Yahweh Shai reference Salakia, Israel as being lost sheep. Study as sheep. Look what they do. These scriptures are written out for you to study things. You got to study the things around you. Yes, sheep are generally considered docile. That's why Yahweh and Yahweh Shai reference the nation of Israel as being docile. The older people are very easy to trick. That's why a lot of them went and got that jabby jab. They were seduced. They don't know better. And they go to show you the failure of the Christian pastor, because they actually will follow what the Christian pastor would say. But the Christian pastor is so light. That's all I want to show you on that. So let's keep going. It says simple-minded. It says having very little intelligence or judgment. And Jake, when they in their folly, this is that's why simplicity is a damn demon. You know what I'm saying? To be in a simple state of mind, it's like, you're an enemy to the Lord, because the Lord can't, what can the Lord do with that? A mind full of folly. You know what I'm saying? No wisdom, no enlightenment. This straight up folly. And when I say folly means foolishness. Let's keep going. Let's go to this word God. I'm going to show you something. Get straight to the point. God. It says the word God comes from a Proto-Germanic word. So this is not a Hebrew word. So one of the first things you have to understand that you have not been taught is the Bible, and our language that we spoke was Hebrew. This language goes back into a Germanic origin. This is not the Most High name. This should be able to show you this. You should be able to see this, rather, just by you looking at this right here at the very top. God, Germanic. This is it be many gods. God is just a title, but the Most High got a personal name, and it ain't Yahweh. And you fucking Yah demons, get the name correct. It's Yahweh, and you people say Jehovah, all kind of confusion. You know what I'm saying? His name Yahweh. Let's go here. And even when you go into the Bible, when you go into the blue letter, which is a tool that we use, if you didn't know this, now you're gonna learn today. When you see Lord in all capital letters, that's why I say your Christian pastor ain't taught you shit. And like I said, excuse my harshness. Then when you go into the word Lord, that's the Most High name, Yahweh. Right? They going off on the name, but you get it. They said they got Jehovah, some madness, but it's Yahweh. They added them vowel points in there. You know what I'm saying? So look, let me show you something else. So when you go to this name Jesus, I'm not gonna have enough time, but when you actually go to the name, I'm gonna show you real quick. It's actually go back into Greek, Jesus. But when you go into actually track the name back, it says this is why it's important to understand things. Right at the top, you haven't been taught this root word, etymology. Etymology is the root of the word. Where did this word come from? It says of Hebrew origin. So a person that got any kind of sense could see that his name when Jesus, it goes back to a Hebrew origin, was Yahweh Shai. Right here. And him and Joshua had the same name. Joshua wasn't his name. Joshua's name was Yahweh Shai, and it got changed to Yahweh Shai. So him and Joshua, in the English version of it, in the English, right, but they had the same name. Joshua is really his real name. That's just the English translation, but his name was Howard Shai, and then it got changed to Yahweh Shai. Him and the Messiah had the same Hebrew name. So when you go to that word Jesus, go back into a Hebrew origin, showing that the Messiah had a Hebrew name because he was a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah. All right, hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rachak, Quadash. Shalom.